So the call's being recorded now. Chris Cross, how's it going? I remember Chris Cross from back in the days. They made a song called Chris Cross and Make You Jump, Jump. If you remember that, Chris Cross. Um, but if you don't, you may want to Google it. Chris Cross will make you jump, jump. Do you remember that? Yeah, yeah. Chris Cross. And you know, Chris Cross is older now. Um, Chris Cross was two teenagers. They became super famous in the 90s with that song. Chris Cross will make you jump, jump. The Mac Daddy make you, those songs were crazy. That's where my surname comes from. Nice. All right, Arias is here. And just to ask everyone, um, if you guys have any questions, just type in the chat, because I am on a microphone, so you can't talk to me directly. But if anyone has any questions about the law of attraction and how to create your own economy, right now would be a good time, because I always ask people questions. I remember I had asked someone a question was, how much is the most you've ever earned in a year? And I remember someone telling me it was like 20,000 or something like that. And then I asked, what would you be doing if you were making $20,000 a month? And the person was like, oh my God, like I would have this house, I would have this. So it's about acting as if it's about putting yourself in a situation in your mind of how it would feel. And then what happens is you open up to the possibility of you actually having it. So it's more about the possibilities than it is about the physical existence. Even though you're here and you're living out your life, right? You're here, you're living out your life, and you're thinking what it is today. We're not working on the today, we're working on the goal. How hard was it in the beginning? In the beginning, I had no other choice. I had no other choice because I was broke. I was living at my mom's house, and I graduated from college with a finance and investment management degree. And I ended up in a boot camp facility for 4 months in a military program. So after I went through that situation, I had no other choice. So when I started listening to Napoleon Hill, I took it more serious than going to college, because I knew that if I could find the master key, I could literally have anything I want. And that's what I did. So what is the master key? The master key is like what you're thinking about. Do you have a goal written down? That's why it's good to have a notebook. And this is one of the main things that Napoleon Hill said. That was the first thing that I did. Never made $1 million, never was rich, didn't even know what rich is. But rich is like this. Every time Napoleon Hill starts a lecture, he starts it like this. He's like, "Oh, divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom with which to use the riches I was born with, and the power to control my own mind to whatever ends I desire." So yes, you want the life, you want time, money, and freedom. The question is, what are you doing today? What are you writing down in the notebook to get you to that level? And if you're not writing anything down, that's why they say environment is more important than heredity. If you're not writing anything down, then you're done. So it's a constant Michelangelo scenario. What is a Michelangelo scenario? Michelangelo would wake up every day in the morning and he would start making that sculpture. And it took him years. I was in Milan in the Duomo, inside the Duomo. It took them years to figure this out. But when you have the perfection, it's like, whoa, people pay money just to go see the sculpture, because it's over 500 years old and it looks like it's been done since yesterday. It's immaculate. I'm sitting there looking at the veins of the sculpture, the veins. These guys in the Renaissance age, these guys totally changed the way that the world was. There was so much new inventions being done. And what we're seeing right now is the same thing with cryptocurrency. That's why I was up last night till 4 a.m, because I'm doing the research. I'm the one doing the research to bring you that information, to tell you that if you don't have an online business, you're done. If you're not out there, I was just listening to one of my friends. If you're not out there recruiting people, talking to people on Facebook, you're done. If you don't have multiple sources of income. So when I got this information, I didn't have any income. I was broke like a joke. I was living at my mom's house. I was always fighting with my mom and dad. My dad was always arguing. Nobody was happy in the house. The most I've ever made was like 65,000 a year working at Circuit City. Circuit City is like an electronics store. I used to sell cell phones when cell phones didn't have internet. So when you do the research, you tie everything up and you start finding out the truth about how the way things work. But you have to study individuals. So what I did was I studied Napoleon Hill for like 3 years, and then I jumped onto Bob Proctor. And then I started studying his seminar on YouTube called You Were Born Rich with Paul Hudsey and John Canary. I've done that seminar hundreds of times. I'm not going to say thousands. I've done it hundreds because it's literally a 3-day seminar, like 3 days, 36 hours. Okay. Probably more than that. And in the seminar, he talks about a foreign vibration. And when you talk to people about your online business, it's a foreign vibration because they've never been there. So they're uncomfortable. When someone has never been there, they get uncomfortable. Why? Because you can't show a dog, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know how they say you can't take a horse to water and make the horse drink? Exactly. That's true for a reason. That's why when you're older, you're set in your ways. And guess what? The greedy bankers, the ones that control the system, they know that. So the system is actually set in place to get rid of their income, to basically get rid of their pensions. Like Robert Kiyosaki says, we're going to get rid of the pensions. We're going to go after the 60-year-old that doesn't know anything, that doesn't want to grow, and take all his income, take all his personal wealth. And that's what happens. That's why the learned will become beautifully equipped to the world that no longer exists, while the learned are the new ones that are making the wealth. So it's a constant learn. You have to constantly learn something new or be open-minded. Napoleon Hill said open-minded is essential for belief. So I was open-minded because I had no other choice. And then I started studying what Bob Proctor was saying, what Napoleon Hill was saying, and I put it to practice. It says you should have a quality that other people don't have, something that you could add. So quality will attract the quantity. What qualities do you have for your online business, for residual income in a down economy? What can you do that's different from everyone else? And grab a pen, grab a notebook, and write this stuff down. Figure out what you can do that's better than everyone else. There's a law of compensation. The law of compensation states that there is a need for what you do. Is there a need for what we do? Definitely. Your ability to do it. And third, the difficulty there will be in replacing you. The difficulty there will be in replacing you. Is it going to be difficult to replace me? Hell yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. Because I could go back as far as Frank Mesmer, which was actually the guy that created mesmerism. That's why when they say you're mesmerized, mesmerized comes from Frank Mesmer from 1750, a German. And he created what's called animal magnetism. Google it. Animal magnetism is basically a craft on how you can heal someone through hypnosis. Did you know that? Probably not. When someone says, oh, my arm hurts, ow, it hurts, oh, my back. This guy would put you in a state of hypnosis and he would heal you. People would wake up shocked, talking about, I don't know where I was, but you fixed me. And guess what? 99% of people need fixing. When you go out there to the world, you're going to fix the world. And how do you fix the world? By fixing yourself. That's why Bob Proctor says you can't paint the kitchen by painting the outside of the house. You have to start with the kitchen. You have to start with you. But everybody's looking at their lower faculties, what they can see. That's a lower faculty. You also have higher ones. But let's talk about the lower ones. What you can see. And you're letting it dictate the way you think. And you're getting more of the same. That's why your results don't change. That's what I learned from Bob Proctor, sitting next to him at his house. Literally talking, telling me, this is how you change. I was doing things my way, and it took me years to figure it out. Then I got a phone call from Bob Proctor's office. They said, hey, Ross, do you want to become a consultant with Proctor Gallagher Institute and teach this? And I said, yes. It was the easiest sale they've done. I said, here's my card. It took them 5 minutes to charge my credit card, my debit card, $25,000. Which is like 20,000 pounds or something like that. And I paid it in a blink of an eye, no hesitation. Paid the money, became a consultant, flew to New York to meet Bob Proctor in person. My friend Kobe had an event called the Modern Day Millionaire, was in Carnegie Hall, me, a Chicago broke person, human being, broke, flying to New York to meet Bob Proctor? Ross Garcia? Who is Ross? My name's Rosendo in Spanish. Everyone calls me Ross because I work for banks. I work for JP Morgan Chase. They're trying to figure out my name in Spanish. They're like, look, let's just cut out the Indo and just call him Ross. Rosendo, just forget the Indo, Ross. Ross Garcia, reporting to work, sir. I have to work for banks to feed myself. Went through a real difficult situation, and I have a son. My son's 12 years old. 2009, okay? 2008, he was born. 2009, I was depressed because I wasn't around my son. And I had to fight in court and do all the crazy stuff, right? As a responsible adult with a degree, go through depression, ended up living at my mom's house, lost everything. Lost my family, lost my job. I still had the job at JP Morgan Chase, but I had to quit the job at JP Morgan Chase. So I quit the job. And then I made a decision to dedicate my life to studying this material, and I wake up when I want. I go to sleep when I want. I talk to the people that I want. No one holds me back. It's like they say, you're the only problem, you're the only solution. So after going to New York and talking to Bob Proctor, I realized that I needed to work more on myself. I had to take it even more serious. So I went to Chicago, and then I was working my company, the Loan Modification Clinic, but I still wasn't happy. And I got a phone call from Bob's assistant, and he said, look, Bob wants to know that if you want to come to Canada to his house. And I was like, okay, like for what? He's like, if you had all the money in the world, what would you be doing? I said, I would be a life coach, like full time. Like this is what I'd be doing. I'd be mentoring people. And the beautiful part about our company, I Am Organization, is that you're able to mentor people. So the more that you help other people get to the finish line, the more money you make. But everyone is too busy trying to figure out another way, and it's good to figure out another way. I'm not saying don't do what you're doing. What you're doing might work, right? What you're doing might work. But I noticed that by doing the calls, by you bringing people onto these calls, it's easier for you because you have someone of a certified consultant, and I still can't even believe it myself, right? That I am a certified consultant and I'm not better than anyone else. Trust me, look, in my mind, I'm still grinding, I'm still hustling, you know. Um, so it doesn't matter what people think of you. It doesn't matter how much money you've ever made. It doesn't matter if you're broke right now or if you have a little bit of change. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you went to school or not. It doesn't, what matters is how bad do you want it? Do you want it? And what do you want to be? What do you want to become? Because when Isaac Newton looked into the cosmic habit force, that's one of the chapters that Napoleon Hill talks about, cosmic habit force. You can find it in a book called How to Raise Your Own Salary. In that book of How to Raise Your Own Salary, he's having a conversation with Andrew Carnegie, Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was a broke newspaper reporter. His mother died at a young age. He had a stepmother, and his stepmother is the one that encouraged him to finish writing his books, Think and Grow Rich and The Laws of Success. And he says, there's only two people that I wish were still here to see me achieve victory, because he was failing when he was writing his books. He was a complete failure on paper. In his mind, he knew the secret. He wasn't a failure. He was a New York Times bestseller. And guess what? There was a day where he became very, very, very successful. And everyone knew who Napoleon Hill was. And just like you, people might not know you, but it doesn't matter. You're living in the dream world and you're going to stay there. And you're going to manifest it into physical reality with these philosophies. If you stay on my calls long enough, you will start to change. So this is how it works. It works through the energy, and the energy just is. Science and theology, they disagree on a lot of things, but they come to an unanimous decision on one thing, that nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. So that means that the life that you want is already here, but it's on a certain frequency. There's frequencies. Now the frequency is bringing communication through me and you. The frequency is, you can't see it. You can't feel it. It's like the air. You might be able to feel the air, but you can't see it. The frequency brought us the radio. The frequency is letting us communicate. We didn't have internet on the phones when I was selling phones at Circuit City back in 2001. We didn't have internet, but now we have internet. Now we have Zoom. But guess what? Internet and Zoom was always here. We just didn't know about it. And the life that you want has always been here. It wants you and you want it. And the more that you tap into it with your higher faculties, imagination, will, reasoning, intuition, perception, and memory, when you tap into it with your higher faculties, your God-given abilities, you're going to start changing. And your income will change by law. It's called a higher level of awareness for a reason. And that's what I did. When I got back to Chicago, I started writing down what I really, 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 really wanted. Not no a couple million. No, these are like the real goals of what do I want? What type of house do I want? Blah, 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 blah. And sometimes it doesn't hit the nail in the coffin. You don't get that exact house or that exact car, but you get close to it, which is a lot better than where you were at. It's a lot better. It's like painting a picture. They asked Van Gogh, how do you do so beautiful work? He said, I dream my painting, then I paint my dream. So you never are going to get an original copy, an original Mona Lisa. A Mona Lisa is a replica of Leonardo da Vinci's mind. That's why James Allen says, mind is the master power that molds and makes. Man is mind. And evermore he takes the tools of thought, shaping what he wills, brings 1,000 joys and 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret and it comes to pass. His environment is but his looking glass. What do you see? Mind is the master power that molds and makes. You are mind. And your mind is dictating everything that you're doing through your logic, which is the left side of your brain. See, you have two sides. You have a left side and you have a right side. The right side you used to use when you were a child, but they told you, put the crayons away. Stop drawing. Stop using your imagination. My dad used to say, Pon tus pies en la tierra. Put your feet on the ground. Go get a job. Go get a job so you can get ahead. Work hard like me. He worked construction. He didn't know any better. He had an idea. He had pictures, but they never manifested. See, The Secret, the movie The Secret, the law of attraction, it didn't explain to you how to do it. It was an introduction. It didn't show you what this guy would show you, Wallace Wattles, right here in The Science of Getting Rich. He goes deep. He goes as deep as the space between me and you is intelligent. Now, what does he mean by the space? He means the frequency, because there is frequencies all around us. The law of vibration is a secondary law. The law of attraction derives from the law of vibration. The first law is the perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy just is. Nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. It's the cause and effect of itself. It's 100% evenly present in all places at all times. Has no past and no future. And you're a receiving station to the energy. And you're also a transmuting station. You also release a picture. So it's the pictures that you're entertaining all day and all night that are dictating your life. And if you can hold on to the beautiful pictures of abundance with your will, with your higher faculty, you can manifest anything you want. And Bob Proctor, when I asked him, I said, anything? He looks at me, he says, anything. And I said, anything you want. That's why he says, tell me what you want and I'll show you how to get it. And I used to think that was a joke, because I'm like, well, what if I want a mansion? I'm gonna help you get it. What if I want a Rolls Royce? I'm gonna help you get it. What if I want $500 million a month? I'm gonna help you get it. Now, $500 million a month is a lot of freaking money, but guess what? The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a penny and $1 million. It doesn't know the difference between a penny and $500 million. When you impress the subconscious mind with the goal, the idea of what you want, it has no ability to reject. The more you impress it, it has no ability. There will be a day where you will hold it in your hand or see it in your physical existence. Because Earl Nightingale was mentored by Napoleon Hill, by this man right here. And I love what he says about the subconscious mind. He says the subconscious mind is like the dirt. It's immoral. You can plant nightshade, a deadly poison, and not even a 16th of an inch away, you can plant corn, a sweet food. It gives you what you plant. And it was William James, the professor from Harvard from the 1900s, that says that you have 60,000 thoughts a day. And Earl Nightingale says out of those 60,000 thoughts, 90% of them have nothing to do with your definite major purpose, with your success. What is success? A progressive realization of a worthy ideal. It has nothing to do with your worthy ideal. It has nothing to do with the end game, with the end result. But you're too busy clowning around, messing around, playing a small game, because you can never believe. You can never believe that you can take your annual income and make it into your daily income or your monthly income. It literally is whatever you want. And when I found that out, it was over with. I dedicated my life to this. I let go of the job. I don't work for anyone. I write my own check. I remember like a month ago, I was thinking money is coming to me, a lot of money. I don't know from where, but it's gonna come. And shortly and surely, something happened. The money just came, abundance came, because it literally is whatever you're thinking about. And I'll just relate it to this so you guys can really get this. Napoleon Hill, when he wrote this book, Think and Grow Rich, he had a hard time figuring out a title for the book. He did everything else, but he didn't have $1 million title. Think and Grow Rich is $1 million title. And I'll tell you guys how he got the $1 million title. He said, I knew that the subconscious mind cannot reject. So I was in my apartment till 4 a.m, fighting with myself to figure out $1 million title for my book. And he says, at 4 a.m, Think and Grow Rich came to my mind. I called the publisher. The publisher was sleeping. It was 4 a.m. He said, yeah, Napoleon, how may I help you? It's 4 a.m. What do you want? He's like, I got $1 million title. He's like, let me hear it. Think and Grow Rich. And then Napoleon Hill says, yes, it's $1 million title, a multi-million-dollar title, because no one could believe that it's a multi-million-dollar title. But guess what? That book has made more millionaires than any other person in the world. This guy totally changed the game and basically was the founder of the personal growth and development field. When I took psychology in college, they were talking about personal growth and development, going to a library, and they actually have a bookshelf dedicated for personal growth and development. It's called self-help. And as a psychologist, you want to learn more about you so you can help other people. So you go to the self-help line and you read those books. Guess what you're going to find? Think and Grow Rich. You might not find The Science of Getting Rich, because this one is really deep. This one is like Alice in Wonderland. You go down the rabbit hole. And I did go down the rabbit hole. But guess what? I'm so thankful and grateful that I did. Because I was tired of looking at my physical existence and letting it dictate my thoughts. And I was tired of getting more of the same thing. And I changed it. I started working on goals, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2030, 2035, 2015, 2016, 2017. I have a journal. So every year, what I do every year is I go to a store and I get a brand new journal, the year 2019, and I write down my objective for that year. 2021 is coming up. What are you going to do January 1st to start working on that goal, 2021? How is it going to look for you? And the number one thing is like, what do you really want? And what's holding you back? Because you're the only problem, you're the only solution. And when I understand that nothing's created, nothing's destroyed, everything that I want's already here, that's a powerful thing to tell someone. When you tell someone that, they really start looking at life in a different way. So if I were to say 2021, you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, would you believe me? Because the most you probably ever made was, let's say, 30,000 pounds or euros or dollars. So how do you create a shift? Because that's what this is about. It's about creating a shift. And if you can do that, 2022 is going to be a lot better, because guess what? You're in a different place now. So it's about expansion. You're a spirit. You're for expansion and fuller expression, never for hard times, never to look back, to disintegrate. It's always to move forward and to experience something that you've never experienced before. How can you do that if you're broke? That's what Wallace Waddle says in The Science of Getting Rich. You can't do that by being broke. So when you hear stories in the Bible talking about, oh, the rich man will never go into the kingdom of heaven, listen, you have this life. Do you want to eat like garbage food, or do you want to eat like top of the line? And then most important, look at the bill and not let it affect your awareness, your conscience. So when you see the bill, you're happy and grateful because you could pay the bill. And then the next day you could pay the same bill or even a more expensive meal. And you can go to the store and buy what you want, when you want. And you don't let things affect you. You don't take things to heart, because you know that you're literally creating your own existence. 60,000 thoughts a day. What thoughts are you entertaining? This is what William James says. What thoughts are you entertaining? And Bob Proctor tells me like this. He's like, look, your belief system, this is what he learned from Leland Van Vanderwalt and Earl Nightingale back in the 60s in Chicago. He says, your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. And frequently, if you reevaluate a situation, your beliefs about that situation will change. And that's what I've done. And that's what I've done as well. That's what Bob Proctor did. And I did that as well. And this is from William James. He says, your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. And frequently, if you reevaluate a situation, your beliefs about that situation will change. What are your belief systems? What are your limiting belief systems of I can't? Because I actually coined another phrase. Yesterday, I said the same thing is the main thing. That's repetition. Today, I'm telling you, I can't doesn't exist. Remember that. Write that down. I can't doesn't exist. I can't doesn't exist, guys. I can't does not exist. I can't should not be in your vocabulary. It should not even be talked about. It should only be I can and I will and I'm determined and it's done. Better yet, done. Because nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. You can literally pick out from the 60,000 thoughts, like a film, like a fine, sensitive film. You can literally pick out from the 60,000 thoughts you have a day, according to William James. You might have more or less, but out of the 60,000 thoughts you have, you can literally pick out the life that you want. And what did Ralph Waldo Emerson says? That the only thing that could grow is the thing you give energy to. Focus on one thing. And because you're part of this organization, that one thing should be the main thing. Like I said yesterday, because I coined that phrase, the same thing is the main thing. The main thing is the same thing. This auto suggestion. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm bringing people into my online business every single day. I feel great and I'm making $100,000 a month. How great would it feel to have residual income? And guess what? You're expanding, you're growing, and you're learning. That's what it's about. It's about knowledge. That's why Napoleon Hill starts his lecture off like this. He says, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom, with which to use the riches I was born with and the power to control my own mind to whatever ends I desire. Are you focusing? Are you controlling your mind, or are you letting other people control you? Because other people will tell you this doesn't work. You're playing around. Like my dad, put your feet on the ground. I used to tell my dad, I make $20,000 a week, Dad. He's like, you got to be kidding me. A couple years later, I'm making $20,000 a week. I show him the bank statements. He's like, oh my God, I'll be damned. Then I put new kitchens in his house. And then he has marble granite countertops in 2 kitchens because he has 2 kitchens and a 3-bedroom house. He did pretty good because I helped him. I helped him get out of the neighborhood where we grew up, in a better neighborhood, in a bigger house. And he's like, how am I going to pay it? I said, don't worry about the how. It's like Bob Proctor says, how? He says the how will present itself to you. See, you can't go after the $100,000 a month because you're trying to figure out how it's going to happen. You don't have to worry about how. Name it and claim it. Name it and claim it and have faith, determination. Failures. Go through the 10 failures. Get up, clean yourself, and do it. It's like the guy that came out in The Wolf of Wall Street, the other guy, Shia LaBeouf. I seen him 2 days ago, and he's like, just do it. Just do it. He's sitting there on Facebook with the green screen in the background, yelling to people, just fucking do it. And then we're sitting here happy, comfortable. You don't want to be comfortable. You want to grow. Look at me. I'm in a different country. I go to a different neighborhood every day and I see something new every day. I'm so happy and grateful now. I'm so happy and grateful now that I listen to Napoleon Hill and Bob Proctor. That's why I'm happy and grateful. And you know what? You might not have access to Bob Proctor because he charges $100,000 a lesson. He sets the price. He could come into this Zoom call and charge $100,000. But guess what? You have me. And I'm not going to charge you 100 grand. I'm going to tell you to get off your ass, okay? And write down your freaking goal as a child, because we're all kids. And I'm 37. Most of these people are like in their 20s. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you really freaking want to be successful, do you have your freaking goal written down in front of you? Like, learn from me. I was a straight loser, a failure. They used to call me Broke Sindo. That was my name at Circuit City because I made a lot of money and I blew a lot of money. I was the #1 salesman in Circuit City. I used to sell more phones than anyone in the United States. My manager, Mike Evans, he actually won a brand new Lexus truck because we were the #1 store. A brand new Lexus truck. Imagine, I'm 19 years old selling phones like hotcakes, like candy cane, and making all that freaking money, and I was still broke. If you only knew that you have this power, and we all have the power. And Andrew Carnegie's seen Napoleon Hill. He's seen greatness in Napoleon Hill. Look at these notes. Notes everywhere. Success everywhere. I remember talking to my friend Saeed. He was in Turkey. He was living in a hotel, doing trades. He was placing trades for the company. And he's like, look, Ross, I want to show you something. He had P5000 written all over the place, in the bathroom, in the shower, in the moment you walk inside the hotel, in his room. P5000 pictures of himself with success. If you don't have a dream that's written out, a description, you're lost. You're 2 steps behind. You have to have a picture of what success looks like. My sister, she never made 100,000 a month. After she sat down with me and I told her, no, you're not going to make $100,000 a year. You're going to make $100,000 a month. What was the first thing she did? The first thing she did is she took out pictures from a magazine of what type of house that she wanted to live in, what type of car she wanted to drive. And guess what? Right now she drives a Mercedes-Benz AMG. And she has 7 properties paid off. And she has a multi-million-dollar business. And you could do the same thing because she was broke. Like, as I say, broke like a joke. She used to work for me. I'm her little brother. I just had this book and I said, I'm going to listen to Napoleon Hill. I'm going to listen to Napoleon Hill. I'm going to do this. I can do this. Forget about everybody else. I got to listen to Napoleon Hill. How did I listen to Napoleon Hill? It's called YouTube for a reason. YouTube, Napoleon Hill, Laws of Success. Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. Napoleon Hill, How to Raise Your Own Salary. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Genevieve Behrend, Thomas Troward, Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. John Canary. And I was doing this all the time at the gym, running, at work. While everyone's working for me, they're like, man, this guy's in a different world. My boss. I'm there all suited up. I'm like, tell me when another client's coming in. I'm going to be on my phone. Close the door, Napoleon Hill. People are like, man, this guy's like a zombie. And to this day, I'm still in that world, Napoleon Hill, because he totally changed my life. Even though he was dead. Some people like reading, some people like watching, some people like listening, whatever. I liked watching him because I could actually see this guy. Even though he was from the 1900s, it was black and white, and I was listening to him. And he's talking about the Piggly Wiggly, the guy that created the hot dog. He's talking about the guy that created the first shopping cart. He was around when that happened. People never knew what a shopping cart was. People didn't know what a checkout was. They used to go to the store. It was all confused back then. It was different. Times have changed. And you can literally create something from nothing, from the frequency, from everything there is and ever was and ever will be. You can create something from that. You're a creator. You have to learn how to use that right side of your brain, the one that's been shut off from society, from the world, from your existence. That's what these calls are about, is for you to tap into that faculty, into the creative side, and stop using your logic to try to make sense of this, because you're never going to make sense of this. And if you want to do the research, go to How to Raise Your Own Salary, the book, where Andrew Carnegie's telling Napoleon Hill that there's a hidden law of nature that not even the wisest of men can understand. So what did Napoleon Hill say? Well, who are the wisest men that have ever lived on the planet? So he bumped into Isaac Newton through research. And then Isaac Newton was actually studying the hidden law of nature, and he figured out what gravity was. So the hidden law of nature is the space between me and you. That's the hidden law of nature, because there's more in the unseen than there is in the seen, than what you could see. There's stuff that's happening in front of you and you don't even know that it's happening, because there's only certain levels of dimension of what your eye can see. We weren't designed to see the unseen, but guess what we were designed to do? To see it in our mind, because the mind is not the brain. The brain is something physical. The mind is an activity, and you can use your imagination to go there. What's there? Whatever you want. It's a place. There is a place. And if you can hold it in your mind, you can have it in your physical existence. There is a time for that. It's called the law of gender. Wallace Wattles talks about it. Now, the law of gender, before I end this call, the law of gender states that there is an incubation and gestation period to every seed. We know what it is for a woman having a child is 9 months. Do we agree? 9 months. But we don't know what a spiritual seed is. A spiritual seed could take you, like in Bob Proctor's case, close to 50 years. Bob Proctor took a pen in Glenview, Illinois, and he says, I'm going to dedicate my life to making a company that operates all around the world. And he did it, and it took him close to 50 years. How long is it going to take you? Is it going to take you 6 months? Is it going to take you a year? Is it going to take you 2 years? Now, the crazy part about it is, are you going to quit? Because when Thomas Edison created the incandescent light bulb, that's why when you drop a bulb, it pops. He created through the method of combustion, through oxygen. That's why when you house the oxygen, the wire doesn't pop. It took him 10,000 failures. How did he figure out how to do it? Well, the secret is he used to take cat naps. And the only way to go into the subconscious mind is through relaxed state. You have to be relaxed. When you're relaxed, you send the signal of the picture and you impress it upon the subconscious. And when you wake up, it's over. How do you send the signal? Enthusiasm. Some people like to take cat naps like he did. Other people like to run around and start screaming. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm a millionaire. I'm so happy and grateful that I have a business, an online business that keeps growing. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm bringing people on the calls with Ross, and he's guiding them and he's helping them open up. Open up. What if you did have everything you wanted? And Thomas Edison woke up from that cat nap and he created the incandescent light bulb. And JP Morgan Chase, the original JP Morgan, took him to his house and he says, I want you to light up my house. I want you to put wires inside my walls and I want you to light up my house. People were tired of using kerosene and walking around because you could burn your house if you drop it. So guess what happened? He illuminated the world. Game changer. Now when you go into a house, the subconscious mind is like the wires in your house. They're there, but you can't see them. But you use the wire, don't you, to plug in the TV, to plug in the cell phone, to charge your phone, right? You're using all the subconscious right there, but you're not taking advantage of it. You don't know about the subconscious. That's what these calls are about, for me to explain to you that there is a subconscious and that the subconscious is where all the fun is. And if you want to create a quantum leap in your finances, you have to tap into the subconscious. Because all the wealthy people know where the fun is, and they know how to tap that image of their lifestyle into the subconscious mind. And if they didn't do it voluntarily, or they basically bumped into it by chance or by mistake, where they impressed the idea on the subconscious, What are the best times to impress the idea on the subconscious? Whenever you have a thought. Like people say at night, people say when you wake up, there's like a window and your subconscious, it's every single day. Because William James says you can only think, you can only hold on to a thought about 30 seconds. Now, I could sit here and formulate a picture of my life with residual income, prosperity, and abundance for 30 seconds. It might be 45, 60 at the most, but I can go there and you can go there as well. So I'm going to end the call. I want to thank you guys for your time and jump on the call tomorrow, guys, because it's going to be fun and exciting. And we're going to be doing this again. I'm going to take a picture of how many people are on the call. So, like I said, join us tomorrow. We'll be here, and we'll join us Monday. Sorry about that. Today's Friday. So, who knows? I might do a call tomorrow. I'll post it in the groups. But until then, I want to thank you guys for your time, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good one, guys. Have a happy weekend. God bless. Take care, and nothing but the best. See you later, Crisscross. Peace out.